got the one to get me with.
CRA board meeting, consider in session.
Oh. Look at all this.
Okay. Are we all here?
We're all here.
Take roll or anything? Do we do it?
Let's take a roll.
Mr. Brown?
Here.
Mr. Rader?
Here. I didn't hear you.
Mr. Street?
Here.
Mrs. Halagus?
Here.
All right, since we're all here, Michael?
Boss man.
Yes, sir. So we have one item on the consent agenda, and it happens to be the MOU between the CRA and World Changers. They've just completed a number of projects for this fiscal year, and so what we're asking for is an approval to move forward with not only this one, but next year's project list to perform the same type of work that they did this year. Now, they were able to help not only ASAP, but they were also able to help St. Andrew's School. And those dollars didn't come from the CRA. They've had some additional donations, about $30,000 in donations where they were able to perform those tasks. And I got a list from Chris Birch yesterday, which I didn't have enough time to present it to you today, of the projects that they performed within the different CRAs. So they did a fantastic job this year, and we're looking forward to them doing it again next year. The only difference here is that we've also included St. Andrews this year, whereas previously we just had the downtown north and the Millville areas. So we're also including St. Andrews this year and next year. So we're seeking approval for the projects for World Changers and CRA next year.
I'd like to move approval of that. That's a great organization if we
I'll second the motion.
get that done.
All right, any further discussion?
Thank you.
All right, let's call roll.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Rader?
Yes.
Mr. Street?
Yes.
Mrs. Halagus?
Yes.
Were we supposed to have a approval of the minutes?
Oh, yes, we
I
were.
just want to ask.
So,
So hard.
just thank you to Chris, World Changers. I know the United Methodist Church, UMCOR, they were a big part of the stuff this year, and so it was bigger than ever. That was fantastic. So we got approval of the minutes, May 22nd, 2022. Everybody had a chance to review that, and if so, and there are no additions, entertain a motion for approval.
I'd like to move approval of the minutes from that meeting.
Second the motion.
Chairman.
All right, call the roll.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Rader?
Yes.
Mr. Street?
Yes.
Mrs. Halagus?
Yes.
Item number 3 are program updates. So if you recall, item A happens to be the Backflow Preventer Installation Grant Program. We presented that to you a couple of months ago, and there were some questions and revisions that we had to perform, and we've done that. So we're bringing it back to you a second time. One of the things that Jared mentioned to me earlier happens to be that legal has not had an opportunity to review it. So if we could get an approval contingent upon legal to review, we can move forward with it. One of the differences here is that before I had announced that there were approximately 2,500 citizens and commercial businesses that were in non-compliance with the backflow preventer. I have been in conversations with Public Works and found out that it only applies to about 50 in each one of your wards. And the way we've set it up now is not only can they get the actual part, the backflow preventer from the city, they can also get installation done by the city and paid for by the city, but will be reimbursed. So each CRA will be reimbursed through the water bill of each citizen or commercial business.
He's looking at me like, do you understand what I'm saying?
Well, so that we're clear though,
Truth be
there's
told,
no
I am
CRA
a-
in my ward, in Ward 3.
Right,
Yeah, I'm the only one that,
right, exactly.
Yeah, you on your own, Billy.
You're on your own. You're
I'm
on
the
your own.
redheaded kid.
Let me make sure I understand. So Mike, so the CRA upfronts the money and then we get reimbursed through
Yes, through the water
through
bill, yes. It'll be put on their water bill, divided over 12 months, and then they'll go ahead and reimburse us back the funds that we expended.
Okay, so it's not really a grant, it's like a loan.
Yes,
Is that just for the installation or for the,
It's for the part and the installation. The part itself is $200, and then we make contact with probably, Kelly, how many? 20 different installers, and the price to install range anywhere from $450 up to $1,800. But more than likely, we will want them to use the person that's going to charge $450 to install.
well, so then it leads me to think like, okay, I mean, I hate, it just is what it is. Okay, so you said there's only 50 of these in all?
Per CRA,
Oh, per CRA.
Per
So
CRA.
maybe 200.
right, at the most.
And what we want them to do is to have a working sprinkler system and be in compliance, because most likely that means that they're keeping their yards.
Not to mention, it
Nice.
also reaches a point where it's going to affect potable water as well. And so the consequence for not coming into compliance with this whole ordeal is the fact that they're going to turn the water off.
So I guess what I'm saying is, can we do better? Can we pay for, can the grant be a grant and not necessarily,
That gets pretty expensive for each CRA if you do it that
So one
way.
of the things that Michael's sharing is right now, it's just irrigation meters, or commercial businesses. They have
Correct.
to have it. But as the FDEP regulations go into it, it'll be everybody, and that's where you get the 2,000 per hour deal. That's a lot.
what about if we pay parts and then like, I just wondered if there, because you said parts are only like $200.
The part itself is only $200.
I don't know. I mean, you've already revised.
But it's just, you know, this is an opportunity, another program, project that we're offering to our citizens. They don't have to take advantage of it if they don't want to, so, you know, it's just
Sure.
something I'm seeking the
But
board's
it is a
approval
loan.
on.
It's a loan.
Correct.
Is what it is. Okay. To make it easier for someone to afford it.
And
Correct.
will this exclude them from other CRA grants?
No, no,
Okay.
this is totally separate.
It's fine then. We can always revise it in the future if we need to, right?
Exactly. And again, it's contingent upon legal's approval, so legal may have something negative to say, or I think Natalie has seen it, but she hasn't given an input on it yet.
Do you like it?
I like the program.
Thank you, Neville.
My favorite line from today, whenever it never goes. It is my opinion.
I like that.
So one of the things I think will happen, because the upfront cost has been the major issue with people getting irrigation meters and those things, yeah, and plus the $400 worth of installation, on residential properties, I think we'll see more of that. And then for the commercial properties, I mean, it's just making it easier to do business in the CRAs.
Yeah.
So I think it's great. It's not gonna hit our budget line, too bad. I mean, I think it's a great
Yeah, I mean, if you
program.
get into it and you see like, hey, nobody's taking it because they don't want to pay the, or they're having trouble with that or something, then just let us know.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
I have not seen anybody do it for $650 total though. Everybody, even residential, it's been like $1,400 to $1,800.
Well, that's why we made so many
So I
calls.
want to know who's installing for $450 before I do mine.
Exactly, exactly.
We have a public comment, so.
Mr. Henry, you're retired, you can start, you've got experience with infrastructure, you can start putting in these backflows.
You could be making money.
You could be making money.
Would have been cheaper than what y'all talking. Put in my own. Walter P. Henry, 614 Maple Avenue. I just want to know, I was just listening to your price. What you talking about, 1 3/4, 1 inch, 1.25 inch, 2 inch? Some business have a 2 inch main. You tell me I can take a building with a 2 inch main and I don't pay but $400. That valve itself most likely cost you more than that. That ain't installing it. That's without installing it. I just want to know that you just you talking 3/4? You talking 1 inch,
We're talking 1 inch.
1.5 inches,
No, we're talking 1
2
inch.
inch?
He
1
said
inch.
1 inch.
It's
I'm just saying, some buildings business have a 2 inch line. You got some business have 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches, because they don't make 1.25 inch meters anymore. Some got 1 inch, 3/4. More likely those are houses. And it all depends on the building, when it was done or built. But most of the time, they have bigger businesses have a bigger water line feeding them because they need more water. So I was just wondering your pricing, because I love if I can get somebody to put me on a 2-inch backflow preventer for $400, I would jump it quick.
Yeah. Well, the price differed also when we contacted actual licensed plumbers versus licensed irrigation installers. So that made a huge difference as well as pricing is concerned.
That's interesting. All right. Do we have a motion to approve pending legals review?
Did somebody make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
All right, call the roll.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Rader?
Yes.
Mr. Street?
Yes.
Ms. Halakis?
Yes.
So just like the backflow preventer program, what we've done in the next item, item number B, are your CRA grants. And we've given you a comparison to actually how many people, how many commercial businesses or residents took advantage of the different programs that we offered. And to kind of remind you of what programs we do offer, I gave you your flyers again today so that you can see in each one of your wards who's actually used it and who hasn't taken advantage of it. The fact that we shut down the application cycle effective June 30th gives us an opportunity to review the grant program and to see which program we want to continue, perhaps put on pause, or whatever the case may be. So, you know, I have a breakdown between downtown, downtown north, Millville, as well as St. Andrews. And you can see the big differences. And we are considering pausing some of the programs, such as the signage program, because it's not widely utilized, as well as the residential paint program. We're going to put that on hiatus for right now and see what happens with some of the other programs that we have to offer.
Now, I feel like the sign program's been, like, haven't a lot of people downtown utilized that one?
You know, there are some businesses downtown that we've gone to specifically because we felt as though a sign would really enhance the appearance of their building, and they just will not, they're just not receptive to it, and I don't understand why.
But some have, right?
Some have, yes, absolutely, some have. Now, I know a lot of, when I had my CRA meetings last week, a lot of the business owners are very interested in the security camera program,
Right.
so we're looking forward to that improving.
So I have a question for you. Millville was down in grants, but I think that's because of maybe just not taking advantage of it. But St. Andrews was down, and I was trying to figure out, is that because people had their own insurance money or FEMA money? Maybe now they've been kind of gotten rebuilt and don't, so the need is not as much there?
Well, the other thing too, they may have taken advantage of it in prior years, so I've only given you a comparison in fiscal year 21 and 22. They may have taken advantage of
Yeah, that's
it in
what I'm
fiscal
thinking,
year
that
20.
they had just gotten kind of maybe.
Right, right. So we just wanted to provide this information to you to just give you an idea of what exactly is going on within your different wards.
Michael, to clarify, it's current policy is 3 years between grants.
That is correct.
So I think that has a lot to do with it. So there's a lot of, I know there's some that are waiting for the window to open again.
I would like, I mean, as for
And
downtown,
Brad
I think
Stevens
I'd
with his
like to
paint
keep
job.
the signs if possible. I think some people have really taken advantage of that.
Okay.
That's been helpful to them, if you still feel like, whatever, I mean, I guess whatever.
We would talk to those businesses again and to just ensure or make sure that they
I don't
realize that it
know.
is a grant.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know like D.D. Rowan, when they did theirs, they used the grant money. I don't mean, I'm not saying we can force people to use it, but I mean, like, I think it's been beneficial to those that have done some, like Jute and Palm and,
Exactly.
yeah,
I agree.
all those. So just to have it available, I think is still probably beneficial.
Okay, I agree.
The other thing I might add too, Michael, is on the sign, the facade, and landscaping. Those are like physical, like capital improvements for a business. I think we may be coming into a little bit of market saturation, so look at maybe we shorten the window on those kind of improvements that obviously you can see and you can notice. I mean, I agree, like, if someone's getting written reimbursement, we don't just need to keep that going.
Exactly.
But some of these, we may want to shorten that timeline from 3 years to a year or something like that, even temporarily.
I do want to give you some very positive feedback, is that I know that the rental reimbursement has really been helpful for those that want to try to do downtown, that are, we're still not quite where we need to be yet. So that's been a huge hit, I know. So I really appreciate that. And then the other thing is I have noticed, I'm not going to say a major influx, but I have noticed that people are particularly buying in those CRAs that they can take advantage of these, especially with housing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
thought that was, I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Item number 3 is the SBDC. As mentioned before, we've had a collaboration with SBDC with regard to offering Starting a Business 101. This will be our 3rd such event. So far, we have about 15 people signed up, and it's scheduled for August 10th at the Daphne Park Clubhouse. It'll be between 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock. So we also have Gray Dodge, who's going to be there from our licensing department, and he will speak, as well as some of our community business owners who'll give some insight as to what it takes to own a business, some of the ins and outs, some of the good, bad, and the ugly. So that has gone over very well so far. Our last one will be held in the St. Andrews area, and it'll be in the 4th quarter of this year.
Sounds good.
As far as number 4, district updates, we're going to have Lena come up first and talk about downtown.
All right.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Downtown has just been kind of moving along throughout the summer. They've really seen an influx of foot traffic downtown, even with the streetscapes. Just been kind of working with the city. I think that the merchants have really done a great job of trying to voice their concerns with the city. And again, the city's come back with, answers for them as well. And thank you, Josh, for joining the workshop with DIB. We talked a lot about that sort of thing. I think it really kind of eased their minds a little bit. But happy to announce that yesterday I received the tables. They were gonna go in the courtyard next to Millie's that we own. Those tables have been, they're pretty old and they're starting to rust through and have some safety issues there. So Jenna had asked us to look into getting some new ones. We did purchase those, and the umbrellas are here as well. So as soon as they get assembled,
The little things.
as soon as they get assembled, they'll be placed out into the courtyard there, and we're going to surplus the old tables. The umbrellas that are currently there, the DIB purchased, and they're going to take those and gift those to the farmer's market to see if they can use them for anything, for some shade. That's about it. Any other questions?
So, yeah, did we, because I was out of town, thank you, Josh, also for going to the DIB workshop, but did we figure out anything about helping, and Mark may be the right person for this, but helping Gilbert with his parking situation? Did we come up with any solution at all to show that?
I think that he's done a lot as far as we've got signs, he's got signs for additional parking. His concerns, I think, and, Josh, correct me if I'm wrong, if I don't remember correctly, his concerns were a lot of, the employees parking in those spaces in Harrison versus,
Did we come up with any cost-effective solution for that?
it's something that actually the DIB is looking at, proposing something for that.
Well, listen, I know you may not necessarily be able to enforce it, just like it has signs right now that nobody's enforcing, but I think maybe if we took we have a sign shop, if it doesn't cost that much, just to maybe put some signs that say retail and restaurant only. See if it would be helpful at all. It may deter them, it may not. I don't know, there's gotta be something that,
I think from the workshop where what Lena was sharing with what the DIB was proposing is trying to create some type of enforcement proposal, basically.
but when I read that email, it was about having oh, we might as well take up, we gotta think about the whole downtown. Right now, we just need kind of a temporary solution. But if they have if there's a temporary solution for them to enforce, maybe we could provide those signs and then they enforce, or the 2 hours. Maybe they can hire.
We have actually been providing signs during the process of the streetscapes to try and help divert traffic to other parking areas and let them know that those businesses are still open, and that there are additional places to park. We have been providing those
No, I
signs.
know the CRA has. I just wondered if there was any additional, since Gilbert came in here, if there was any additional thing. I'll talk to Mark about it later.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lena. As far as St. Andrews is concerned, I was in St. Andrews several evenings last week, and it's just bustling. And Commissioner, I know that you realize that as well, and Lisa is here, and she can probably attest to that as well. The museum is receiving a lot of traffic, a lot of attention as well. So I hope that continues on. As of yesterday, I did receive confirmation from FDOT that our request for $225,000 for landscaping is in their fiscal year 24 budget. If they can move it up to fiscal year 23, they will certainly do it. But I did receive that confirmation yesterday. As far as Downtown North is concerned, I did provide you with a flyer. We have done a lot of work over at 80 Harris, and we plan to promote that greatly. There is meeting space over there, there's an exercise room over there, as well as the use of the gym. So we're going to be promoting that, and hopefully we'll have some new tenants moving in over there. Right now, we only have about 4 tenants, but we hope to get more soon. Also, with regard to Downtown North, the beautification project on MLK has been completed. So I've already invoiced DOT for the $226,000 that they owe us. So hopefully that will be reimbursed to us fairly soon.
Looks good.
As far as the lighting replacement, let me go back to St. Andrews for a second. We're still waiting on a timeline from FPL. I was talking to Jonathan Hayes earlier, and I think there's some issue with dollars. So I'm going to have a conversation with him later today regarding that. As far as Millville is concerned, we've gotten approval for our new sign, and that's in the works. It's going to take about 10 weeks. I also got confirmation from DOT yesterday for $150,000 in landscaping design. So that's also in their fiscal year 24 budget. If they can move that up to fiscal year 23, they certainly will do that. And then, Commissioner, as I had mentioned to you before, the lighting replacement is going to take approximately 3 to 4 months for those 10 lights to be replaced, so we are working on
That
that.
was a month ago, right?
Yeah, that was just a month ago.
Nobody's counting.
Nobody's counting.
No.
Mark doesn't know this, but we are working on the RFP for Francie's. I have to submit it for his review. We do have it completed. One of the things that has to occur is that there has to be asbestos and lead paint testing. So I don't know if you want that included in the RFP or if you want us to do that in advance.
Well, I have some input. Got him. Should we consult with one of our urban planners before we tear it in?
Okay. The last 2 items happened to deal with the Hometown Revitalization Program. Of course, the kickoff program, or the kickoff meeting, was scheduled for June 15th, last month. One of the reasons that the CRA is involved is because of the design aspect. We are going to be providing dollars to help some of the businesses as far as getting the design plans taken care of. Not every commercial business is going to take advantage of it, but those that are interested will have that funding available. Also, the Hometown Buyout Program. I met with Nathan Bean with Haggerty, and we plan to move forward with that. One of the reasons the community development / CRA is involved with that is because of the federal dollars that are involved, CDBG money. There has to be a universal relocation program in place. So for those people that are being relocated from Cincinnati Avenue, have to go somewhere else, we have to have a policy, which we've always had in place in case somebody is being relocated because of the city. So we've been working with them on that, and we should be moving forward fairly quickly on that.
On that same note, Michael, have we, and Evan, you may know the answer to this, the Carriage Inn property, are we any closer to maybe, I know we didn't really get what we wanted from the builders in the property exchange, the P3 process that we went through for as far as building on residential lots, but is that still a possibility of utilizing that?
So we've already acquired those parcels. Our surveyor, Fred, has already laid out the possibility of 5 individual lots. There's 61 by 140, I think it is. We're in the process of getting the addresses for each one of those parcels.
Could we look at doing that one for townhomes and see how many we can fit? Because a lot of the people that are being sold from the voluntary home buyout, they're townhomes anyway. And see if we can't, how many people we could actually provide housing for on that particular parcel.
Right.
And there's already townhomes in the area. I mean, they're right across the street. So
Exactly.
it would
Exactly.
make sense. The second question I had, and correct me if I'm wrong, are we actually starting, because I know Jen will be interested in this too, are we going to actually do an in-house project on the Gateway Village Parkway in August? Is that my understanding?
Yes, so we're collaborating with Quality of Life, and we're going to be providing some dollars to get that taken care of. Sean already has it laid out as to what's going to move forward. We're going to put in some benches, grass, landscaping, and all this other stuff, so we are moving forward with that.
Perfect. And just to reiterate what you said, Michael, we're at the point where we actually do physically have to address parking.
Yeah, I agree.
Right, so
I've been out there.
I know everybody wants to go home, but hey, this is, I really like to press forward with seeing if it's feasible or what we can do about a parking garage in St. Andrews.
So we have been looking at the 2 city-owned lots for paving those 2 lots, one behind the Thai restaurant and, of course, the one across from the Shrimp Boat. We're looking at approximately $250,000 to pave each one of those lots. I don't think I'll be able to do 2 in 1 year, 1 fiscal year, so we may do 1 and then perhaps another one the next fiscal year. And then after that, we're going to have to look at paid parking for that specific area as well.
Well, my thought is, as soon as we pave it, it should be paid immediately, and just rolling that way, so we do need to kind of.
Start, that's what you're thinking?
Yeah, for this year, definitely need to get, ideally, I'd like to see 2. If we can only get 1, so be it, but
Now,
Yeah,
does it
pave
have
it.
to be paved to do paid parking? You think you're getting a nicer
have to,
parking lot?
it just feels like you're getting something, I guess, in return.
I was about to say, because I
Yeah.
just got back from, well, all over the place, as y'all know, and I parked in all kinds of things, everything was paved, everywhere I went, and some of it was, gravel parking lots, some of it was whatever. And by the way, the scanning of a QR code is like the best thing that ever happened. I mean, that is the way to go. Now, I know that they say older people can't, whatever, but I'm telling you what, that scanning was so easy. Yeah. I'm
Kenny,
looking at-
Kenny was making faces, not me. Kenny, not me. I was laughing at him.
I heard you,
He's
Brandon.
going
But
time
anyway,
out.
Okay, anyway, I
Yeah.
think that we need to do something to, and it could be that we could, not that I'm disagreeing with you, because it
Oh, I
would
have
look
no
nice.
problem with
But
QR
it could be,
scanning.
we could start the pave process, and that would kind of help us, kind of start the I'm just not gonna make that kind of money.
No,
but
I mean,
it'd
we
start the process
got
of
brand new
making money.
pavement on the Beck Avenue. I mean, FDOT's ready to do it as soon as we are, so that.
I mean, I'm not
so
against
we can do
either
it
way,
anytime
I
we
just-
want to. So I agree. I mean, we can have this conversation about 1 hour, 2 hour free, whatever it is, but, we're obviously at the point now that Captain's Table's open, there is no open. I mean, we rode bikes the other day because really couldn't find them.
That's what
Oyster
you're
shells, oyster shells work good for
So
parking.
there may be more of that, so.
I'm taking my electric bike from the Cove
They used
to
to.
St. Andrews to
Oh,
That's
yeah.
great. Well, Board, that's all I have for you today. There is public comments, if anyone has anything they would like to say or add to. Seeing none,
All right, any other? Yep, all right, we're adjourned.
thank you.
Caitlin, do not come over here.